to his enemies and wealth and riches, he got even more. As we all know, God does not give money or favors to his worshippers, but love and wisdom. Be careful what you wish for, because it might be in vain to ask for a new car or a boyfriend. Number 3, he wrote a book to help discipline his boys. King Solomon had to put all of his wisdom to good use, so he wrote a few books. Some of them were poems, some proverbs or wise sayings, and some were short stories. One of these books, The Wise Sayings, had a different purpose in mind. Solomon wrote it to be a guide for his children, precisely for his boys. He wanted the best for them, and also since he had been gifted a lot of wisdom, he wanted his offspring to have a piece of it. Following those guidelines, you can mold a functional, successful, and happy adult. In the meantime, parenting has changed an awful lot, and might not be the most relevant these days, but worth reading nonetheless. Number 4. Some records say he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Solomon's story goes a little like this. If you read the Bible, you can count as many as 700 wives and over 300 concubines, which counts for over 1,000 women. So Solomon had around 999 problems, 10 times more than Jay-Z. They were brought from all over the region. Princesses and other royalties that were married with him just for the sake of alliances. We don't know if he honored any of them, or if he knew them by name, because the Bible only names one, Naamah, the Ammonite, as his wife. The others are just numbers.
Only one wife.
Number 5. His fortune was in gold, horses, and chariots.
What does happen?
It's just a nut. They put this.
Keep that.
I'm trying to. Okay, guys, 1 second.
Back in the days of Solomon, wealth and fortunes were different. Most kings had palaces, gold, slaves, horses, cattle, and grains as well. Those were the main possessions that made a person rich, and Solomon had them all. He was also grasping taxes from Israel's regions and gifts. He allegedly had around $2.3 trillion in his fortune, consisting of 500 tons of pure gold from Israel's gold mines. We don't know for sure if they did exist and if that number is accurate, because the only reference we have from that time is the Bible. Historians don't believe that he had trillions of dollars, but most references are about how rich and wealthy he was. And since he allowed his wives to worship and give gifts to their gods, he must have been pretty rich. Number 6. His sins and lifestyle brought God's wrath upon his people. The things that bring you up are also the ones that bring you down. And that lesson was learned by King Solomon too. His candid and true self earned him God's attention, who gave him the wisdom he needed to be a good king. But after a while, he forgot about it and became blinded by possessions and his wives. They had different beliefs than his and honored different gods. He allowed them to praise them and even helped them build temples and give gifts to their gods. Besides that, he engaged in different projects using slaves, and he became greedy and obsessed with money, things that God does not appreciate. Even though God forgave him, his people ended up suffering a lot in the years to come. Number 7. Marijuana may have been found in his tomb. Just like Solomon claimed to have spoken to God, other virtuous prophets spoke to him too. These conversations with God and angels have been documented a lot in religious books. But since it all happened thousands of years ago, it seems a little far-fetched to some. These days, people don't believe anyone that claims to have any visions with divinity, because we know so much about the brain's chemistry and how drugs work.
It's marijuana.
That's drugs.
Marijuana might have been found in his toe.
That's drugs.
Had it back then. This explains
It's weed.
a lot of things.
No.